All right, Jay, next let's kick it down to College Station where Texas A&M beat the hell out of Kent State 41-10. Big win here for the Aggies and Haynes King debut as a starting quarterback. And, I thought the most promising thing I saw from this one, Haynes King, he had some issues here in this game. 3 turnovers, 3 interceptions, I should say. One of them not his fault, tipped pass and everything. But when your quarterback throws 3 interceptions, Shane, and you beat the hell out of an opponent, even if they're not, a match for you at all, you win by 31 points. I think that's a hell of a sign for the Aggies. And the defense was not solid in this game. Make no mistake. I mean, I was thinking maybe a shutout type game here, but Kent State did have some success here. What was your main takeaway from this one?
Well, the main takeaway was, damn, what about them fans? I don't think anybody was as excited about college football as the 12th man down there. Those guys were repping and looking good. I just thought that was obviously a factor. My first impression, though, was the sluggish start. I'm looking at a 7-point game at halftime. I'm a little frustrated. We can't have that. They did redeem themselves in the second half, but how much of that was just competitive depth and how much of that was actual fixing some of the mistakes you made in the first half? So, and I know, listen, Mike, it was a hell of a victory. It turned out just the way you want, but yeah, the thing that frustrates me with Texas A&M is they cannot afford to mess around. I mean, I'm telling you like it is. After seeing this Clemson thing, they're going to be in the playoffs, okay? Probably at Ohio State. Hell, if Oklahoma, I don't know, they may, unless they play Tulane again. We don't know. We don't know how the playoffs are going to play out. But I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be really hard to get more than one one-loss team into the playoffs. And I'm not saying Texas A&M is going to be a one-loss team, but they're definitely on the fringe of one of these programs that are going to actually have the ability to get there. And so you got to come out, man, and you just got to rip it every game. Kent State, this should have been a 3-point touchdown lead, 4-score touchdown lead at halftime easily, but it was a little sluggish. But again, I get it. It's the start of the season. We got a brand new quarterback. We're working out some stuff, but I don't know. I thought for sure, worst case scenario, you can lean on those big uglies up front in that running game that you have, and you should have been able to have a 4-score lead at half.
Well, let's kick it over to Jimbo. Shane talked about the debut of King at quarterback and Leon O'Neal's huge pick 6 that really bust this thing wide open.
Haynes throwing 33 passes. Did you come in wanting in a game plan to give him a lot of work?
We're going to be a balanced team. We're coming to sling it. We ain't coming there to run it. We're going to make big plays. We got guys and get it down the field, and we got to be able to throw the football, and we got to be able to run the football. And I was very proud. Like I said, what I was happy about with him in the game, we had some mistakes right there, and the ball turned over. His mentality didn't change. He stayed right in the game, making decisions, making calls, going right at it. And that was, for a young guy, sometimes that gets very tough, especially when you first start, and really made some nice plays. So, yeah, I mean, we're going to sling the ball.
Following King's 14-yard scramble in the second quarter, some Aggies took to Twitter and described him as Haynes football. How does that make you feel, and what was going through your mind after that play?
I'll tell you what now. I will say that he was electric with his legs for the most part, and he did a good job, in that, making plays, keeping his eyes up, scrambling. I mean, it's fun. I mean, those things, listen, you can say coaching all you want, but, man, those guys are the ones who separate the game and make things really fun. And when you can do things like that, that's what you got to do to get to that next level and play in those big games and win big games and because things break down sometimes. Those guys can ad-lib and do that. Very proud. Every time he did that, something really good came out of it.
Off the top of your head, evaluation of Haynes in his first
Thought he played really well. Thought he overcame adversity. Thought he made plays when he had to. Outstanding on third down. The tip ball they had in the third quarter on the crazy, the guy's wide open. He makes it. The D lineman throws his hand up at the end and tips, and still he got to find a way to get it over. But he's making the right throw to the right guy, right on the money. The tip ball, we're throwing it to the crosser, the tight end thinks it's him. He reaches up, hits it with his hand, deflects it back. And the other one should have worked the other side probably. But the guy's 9 of 13 on third down. He's 21 out of 33. He scored his touchdowns, and he overcame things. And that's the way you measure players, I do. When things ain't all perfect, and your first time out there, man, you could gain a lot of doubt on yourself. He didn't. And the things he created with his legs the plays he created. He had to create a big drive the first half, you remember, on the 3rd and 4. We get the first down to take us down to 4, and we get the holding call. So, I mean, there are a lot of things to clean up without a doubt. We'll clean those up, but there's still a lot of big plays there. There's a lot of creativity. There's a lot of big plays, and a lot of potential to be right there. And I thought he handled the adversity extremely well. No demeanor didn't change. Kept calling the plays, and he's still throwing that ball right between them hashes. A lot of times, them young guys, when they get those picks, they don't want to go back in the middle of that field. They don't go back in that maze. Doesn't bother him. He's a competitor, man.
To go back to Leon, whenever you have someone with that kind of energy and excitement and to make plays like that, how much of a boost does that just give to your whole team?
Oh, he's an energizer bunny. But that's why I say you got to have that. You got to have that guy that's always keeping guys going, and it's a big part of it, man. Energy, and because listen, there's ups and downs of a game. You got to play that next play, and you get down, you find that guy that's got that energy that you feed off of, and that's very critical. That's as critical as the plays he makes.
All right, Chad, and one final thing on A&M that I thought was pretty impressive, really spreading the wealth. We've talked on and on all offseason about all the weapons the Aggies have. Devon Awchain, 124 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. That's outstanding. Isaiah Spiller, 113 rushing. And then Aniyah Smith, 8 catches, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns receiving. And that's not even before you get to Caleb Chapman. Great to see him back. He had a 53-yard catch. But so many weapons. Hell, they didn't even need Jalen Weidermeyer in this one. 4 catches, 36 yards. But the wealth of weapons around King, and like you said, I see what you're saying, a little frustration here, but I just think that this is part of the process, man. You got a new quarterback, first time starting. You obviously got to clean that up. But once you get into SEC play, with all these tools, as long as they're not turning the ball over, they're going to be able to compete with anybody I saw this weekend, I think.
Yeah, I do too, man. And trust me, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer by no means. And the worst is when I hear people say, there's no such thing as an ugly win. Yeah, there is. I'm telling you right now, there was a couple of ugly wins last year, and that's the reason that Texas A&M didn't go to the college football playoffs. And I don't want to see that play out again. Don't get conservative. Just get out there and kick ass. When you're going against an inferior opponent, there's no reason there should be a ball game at halftime. This thing should have been, it should have been opened up a lot sooner. So I get it. I'm trying not to get ahead of myself. I know it's week 1, new quarterback, all that, but I don't want Texas A&M to take their foot off the gas because they can't.